Hey, and welcome to another episode of Just Another Effin' Podcast. I am the cream of the crop. I rise to the top. I'm the savior of the Commonwealth, the JFB, James from Boston.
And it's me, your Canadian hero, Canada Dry. I just scared my cat doing that.
And this is our episode 11. This is our American Idol. We do have a special guest. But before we get to our guest, we're going to go over a couple things really quickly. First off, a couple days ago, sad news coming out of the wrestling world. New Jack passed away from a heart attack. Unless your name is Mass Transit, most of the stuff that's been coming out about New Jack has been relatively good. I know a friend of the show, Zach Kelly, said that
any negative spin at this point, right? Pretty respectful.
He's a friend of the show. Zach Kelly did come out and he's met New Jack a couple times, and New Jack's was really nice to him. I've talked to a couple people on Twitter about New Jack. Scary man in the ring. He put the Extreme in Extreme Championship Wrestling for sure. But your thoughts, Canada Dry?
I'm just going to be respectful of the dead.
Death matches are not my forte, but yeah.
After watching the darkest side of the ring, I was just sickened, so I'm just going to be respectful of the dead.
Well,
what about you, Brian?
I'm gonna take the same answer.
Speaking of Dark Side of the Ring, season 3 is out. They are 3 episodes in so far. The first 2 were about the loose cannon Brian Pillman, and episode 3 was about Nick Gage, again another Extreme wrestler. Have you watched any of the episodes, guys?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, I watched the Brian Pillman one. It was pretty good. I think it's good that they're telling the stories, but I mean, as true as they try to make them seem, there's still a lot of bullshit in there, and I say that because I remember they did the Macho Man one, and
was that the first season you're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I know they covered Macho Man. I remember watching that one, and I'm saying, like, I know Lanny Poffo, and I wrestled him a bunch of times, and like, I know the stories, and you hear, so like some of it was true, but there's still a lot of kayfabe bullshit in there, and I mean, let me just make myself the ultimate dick right now and just say the part that really kind of made my stomach turn in the Brian Pillman one was Jim Ross saying that when he was looking for up and coming wrestlers, that he would listen to what Dave Meltzer said, and he said, like, Dave, and like, I can't tell you, man, I wanted to punch through my fucking wall because Dave Meltzer is not a wrestler and never did wrestle, and I mean, what does he know other than different than any other fan, except he's got a big mouth and B- journalism skills. So
he's just a super fan. That's all he is.
Yeah,
exactly. And I'm saying, so like, that's the whole problem. I mean, there you go, dude. Go back. I don't know how many years we talking. 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, like 40 years. Go back and like, this bozo, this is what we're listening to. Okay, cool. So I don't know, man, but that's just me.
I really enjoyed the Brian Pillman episode, and
yes, great,
especially hearing about his son and learning about that was really cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Oh, he looks just like his father. It's scary.
Yeah, definitely. Good looking kid, good dude. It's cool.
So last one is Natalia Markova, a friend of the show. She is making her AEW Dark premiere. We will have a watch along on the effin page.
Effin Wrestling group page.
Yeah, on the group page on Facebook, on the Facebook gimmick. So get on Twitter and start tweeting about her. Let's give her some hype before she goes to the ring against who's she going against? Layla.
She's going against Layla Hirsch, another Russian.
Oh yeah.
So I wasn't happy with that, but she's Natalia Markova is trending #1 for AEW Dark.
Yeah.
outtrending anyone on the show right now. So it's really cool.
Good job. That's cool.
Yeah. So join us for the watch along. And we'll have her on the show, I'm sure, within the next couple of weeks to talk about.
You guys want to get excited. You guys want to know that when she finally came to America, that I actually trained her.
Oh, yeah, really? We know that.
So there's
one of the reasons we reached out to you is you're a friend of Markova, and you became a friend of mine as well.
All right,
that's awesome.
It.
All right,
I'm gonna go on a limb. I don't want to cut you off there, but let's just
that's okay.
Cap that. Let me just play host here and cap that segment. I'm gonna go on record saying she's the absolute best unsigned female wrestler in the entire world. And
I 100% agree with that. Oh my goodness!
Look, for a lot of reasons, I'm just gonna say, dude. Like, and some of them are just as simple as she doesn't drink, she doesn't do drugs, she doesn't smoke, and shows up to the gym every single day, is in phenomenal shape, and will continue to be in phenomenal shape for years to come. Never gets injured to the point where she can't wrestle, and I mean, does crazy stuff in the ring and does it with skill and control. And dude, the wrestling business is a funny business, and you get a lot of haters when you're top notch like that, and people try to pick away at anything they can to keep you out of their spot. And I think she falls victim to that a little bit. And hopefully, this is a start of some cool things. So I would definitely recommend to anyone, whoever I am, the guy who just shit on Dave Meltzer, but I'll recommend to everyone listening and watching, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, and she has just so many different styles. She could do hardcore, she could do technical, she could do the high flying, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. All right, let's get to the meat of our meal here. We gave you the hors d'oeuvres, and now let's go for the meat.
We're eating you, Bryan. We're eating you.
We have Bryan Idol with us live from Florida. And, man, it's good to have you on the show, brother.
Appreciate it. I've already seemed to taken over the.
No, it's great. We love it.
Cool.
So I got to ask you, man, what age did you get the itch about professional wrestling? Like, when did it really capture your imagination?
Well, in my mind, I was a TV pro wrestler at 4 years old. So about 4 years old, man. I was, it's like you grow up, and I remember like watching guys like Jake the Snake and Tito Santana and Bruce Beefcake and all these types, and then like saying like when I was a kid, like having matches with my brother, jumping around on the bed where we're pretending to be those guys, and like in our minds like really thinking we deserve to wrestle these guys, and then lo and behold we grew up.
Were you a big Barbara Beefcake fan as well?
I was at the time, yeah. When you're a kid, he was exciting.
Yeah. The gimmick was great.
Yeah.
Giving away my age here, but yeah, when I was a kid, he was exciting. Man, he was just always cutting a lot. Every promo he cut was like, he was just a lot of energy. He had scissors, but you couldn't go wrong.
Yeah.
So when did you go from being a fan to actually start your training?
Well, it's funny because I always tell the story, and it's almost kind of unbelievable. It kind of reminds me of like the Seattle grunge era, where it's like we started out screwing around in a backyard, and I was like 16, and in our backyard fed ended up being Tony Nese, Mikey from Spirit Squad.
Oh, cool.
I mean, so like we had. I mean, I'm gonna guess probably going down on paper we had the best backyard fed ever, because I don't know any that has two WWE champions.
Pretty good.
And like 4 other indie guys. So I'm saying that all did good stuff. So we had a pretty legit backyard fed. And then somebody, it was like one of these dudes. He was like a local dude. He was older. I think he had a buddy that was like a con artist, and I think the buddy wanted to like con us out of money. But then the other guy saw that we were like actually cool and had talent, some of us, and like he didn't want to screw us over. So he kind of like separated us from that creep and was like, "Hey, why don't you come check out this place?" So we went and trained at a place that in the Northeast has notoriety as known as like Get Tough or Get Out, which was the Dog House, in Queens, New York. And from there, I trained with a bunch of other people, man. I trained with like Mikey Whipwreck, and then years later with like Sabu, and you never really stop training if you're smart. And so that's how I got into it. So the transition was like kind of seamless. It was just like one day we were in a backyard, the next day we were in a pro ring, and I mean I remember my first day of training taking superplexes and I don't know, tombstone pile drivers and like tilt the whirl ones and shit that I still do now. And I'm like, man, I was doing that on day one. Like it was wild. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Brian,
yeah,
can I ask you a question?
sure.
So Natalia asked me to see if you'd tell a Cebu story.
Let's have, there's a lot of them, but yeah, no, I can't really. I can't. There's one, I got interviewed for his book for it, and I don't think they put it in because it was it was pretty wild. So I think we'll leave that one. It's a long story
Okay.
anyway, but he's a maniac. He's a maniac, and definitely got some wild stories, but probably not for today, buddy.
So I got to ask you. So you are a wrestler. You're an owner of your own company.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're a trainer. What is the hardest out of the three?
I would say any of them are hard. I would say the worst is owning a company, and it's because so like when I started this company, I mean I was essentially nobody in the wrestling world, and it wasn't like I did it like a lot of these. I mean, I deal with this still. Like you meet a promoter, an indie promoter, and they all think they're going to be Vince McMahon. You know what I'm saying? Or they got this
Yeah.
plan that they're going to build up this audience and sell their TV show. And I remember like I had a friend who's like runs a very famous restaurant, and he's a lawyer, and he was like, that should be your goal, man. Your goal should be to like sell this shit to Vince McMahon. And like I'm like laughing at him, like, hey, listen, dude. Even then I knew, and I was probably like mid-20s here, and I was like, yeah, dude, nobody's gonna give a shit. Like we're just doing this for fun. Like if we can pack a place out, and I had a whole little venue where I was doing concerts and all this, so that was just our goal. And I'm saying what I didn't realize when I started this thing with my buddy Sean was we didn't realize the if you're trying to wrestle as well, the level of hate that brings you, because so you're dealing with rival promoters who don't want you running shows. So then they do whatever they can to bash your name. So if you're trying to wrestle, they're like, oh, that guy sucks, and like getting local internet news people and this and that. Oh, say that guy sucks. Say they're losers. Say their shit's no good because we don't want them doing business. We don't want this guy established because it's taken away from us. So that's the
It's
hardest.
pretty cutthroat, eh?
Yeah, really, really, like unnecessarily, dude. It's the oldest story in the book is two bozo rival companies in some town fighting over peanuts when there's no reason at all. Because like the truth is, dude, most local indies are it's the local wrestlers that draw for them. So like I get it, you want to fight over these local wrestlers, but like when you take it down another level, it's usually the kids that are in the schools of that company. So if you got kids in your school, they got kids in their school, you can have two shows on the same night. You're both going to draw the same X amount of people if you try hard, because they got their friends and family, you got your friends and family, and then there's one or two wrestlers you bring in that'll put you over the top. You bring in, when we used to do that and run against rival companies, we'd bring in Mick Foley, you know what I'm saying? And I remember, I think one time, I will point this out because I did think it was funny. This one company had like such beef with us, and I remember they went hard this one night, and we were bringing in Mick Foley, and it's in Long Island, it's his hometown, and like the buzz is through the roof. He's like in TNA at this point. He just did a feud with Ric Flair, and it's like we got Mick Foley at legend status at this point, and he hasn't done many indies, and like here he is in his hometown, and we made like a big steel cage night, and I remember the other company. And we're friends now, but it's just funny because I know they can deny it all they want, but I remember they named the show Never Back Down, and I remember they got Daniel Bryan when he got fired the first time, so he wasn't that popular yet.
Yeah,
and he hadn't hit that.
But
and
his name was in there because he was fired.
Right, and I'm sure they paid a good price for him. And I just remember like the difference of like we had like 1,000 people and they had like 200. And I was like, hey man, that's life. But that's how you get into beef with people, because then they're like, oh,
So imagine how well you guys could do if you guys collabed together.
Well, and now, moral of the story, years later, me and this company, we did, and we do, and we still work together. I mean, it's been slow with this pandemic, but right up until the pandemic, we're always doing business with each other, helping each other out, and it's been super beneficial and for everybody. And that's the way I always wanted it, and maybe they did too. But again, that's why I was saying this makes it so hard as I take it off on this side tangent where I made it sound like we're the best company in the world, which we're not. But the point I was making is
what is the name of your company?
Fight the World Wrestling.
Okay, yeah, we've heard of them.
Yeah, it's been around a long time, man. and I've had up and running at one time. I've had 3-4 schools at once. Right now, I still got 2. Uh, and like I said, it just running a company and being a wrestler is really hard because you don't make friends like that, and that's the truth. And it's probably been very detrimental to my own career in a lot of ways. And it's funny because, like I said, then there's haters who think the only reason why I get somewhere is because I run a company. And if they only knew the truth, is like, no, dude, it's the opposite. I get hated on just like you're hating on me. And it's even worse. And like I got to watch every single thing I do because it's not just some jabroni wrestler trying to bring me down. It's some guy who's got a second mortgage on his house and he's living the fantasy of wanting to be Vince McMahon. So every dollar he's got's riding on his wife's ready to leave him because she thinks he's nuts for being a wrestling promoter, and he's literally, like I said, he's doubled down on their house payment. You know what I mean? The wife don't like him, the kids hate him, and they're blaming me. They're looking at me and they're like, "Oh, it's Bryan Idol's fault. If only FT didn't exist." So it's a strange world to be in. So that's the long short answer of the long answer.
Well, speaking of Strong Island, how hard is it coming from that area when you got guys like Matt Cardona and Cliff Compton being 2 of the more well-known guys from Long Island? What's it like striking out from there and following in their shadows?
I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to back up and reverse this. Who's Cliff Compton?
He is an indie wrestler. He's been on Ring of Honor before.
Okay, I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying I don't know.
Oh yeah,
but it's cool.
I've never heard him either. So
hey, look at this. This guy likes Cliff Compton. It's all right. It's cool, man. Cliff Compton, bro.
I don't know who he is.
You're gonna keep rolling, man. Matt Cardona. That's Zack Ryder, right?
Yeah, that's Zack Ryder. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I just want to get it right. I wouldn't say I ever felt a shadow or anybody else really did. From all accounts, he's a good guy. I know Dan Barry originally was one of his trainers.
Yeah.
And Dan Barry's funny. I remember, here, let me just show you how long I've been at this. I remember being there for Dan Barry's first match. I remember sitting in the locker room with Dan Barry, and he looked at me. I wasn't much older than him. And he looked at me and he's like, man, I'm really nervous. And I was like, what are you nervous about? I was like, you train, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, it'll be all right. I was like, it's fun, man. Wait to get out there. He's like, I know. I just don't want to suck. And he definitely didn't suck. He's Dan Barry. So, like I said, man, I don't think wrestlers really feel like anybody's in the shadow of anybody. I don't think anybody's ever been that super over on the indies where it's like, oh, dude, I can't walk out in this town right now with these guys. They're going to be chanting for this guy. It doesn't really happen, dude.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel that. If anything, it's motivational. And if you see somebody from your area makes it, then you're like, all right, man, there's room for more. So let's step it up. People are looking, which I think for sure New York for a while was putting out some of the best wrestlers, and they were all, making waves on TV. And, it's a good thing, like I said.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you talked about Corona and obviously with the pandemic, we're on hopefully the back end of it. People are getting vaccinated, places are opening up again. How's that affected the business, good or bad?
Well, man, I think it definitely killed some serious opportunities. It made some big changes, and I think things are going to pan out in a roundabout way, but probably not with me involved and whatever in a lot of ways. And I definitely missed last year's WrestleMania weekend. Could have been huge for me. And ended up being a complete dud, obviously. And so, I mean, I've seen a lot of things go by the wayside during this pandemic as far as in my career. But, what can you do, man? I mean, it's like one of those things you can't even, like, it's like, what do you do? Cry about it? Like, it's so outlandish and over the top that you can't even, all you do is you pick up the pieces and you move forward and you try to make the best of what's in front of you. And I mean, the cool thing is starting to get real busy again. There's definitely little opportunities and things that have been presented to me. I'm still kind of picking and choosing and kind of waiting on some other things for when this, like you said, when this pandemic really dies out and international stuff opens back up. I know I'll have some options in Japan. And, sometimes it's not about just taking an option. Sometimes it's about having all the options in front of you so everyone else can see those options and say, okay, like we can't just, I mean, if I'm guilty of anything, I'm guilty of not letting people treat me small time. And I don't mind proving myself. I'll bust my ass, but like, it's got to be fair. And I think the problem sometimes in wrestling is big companies like to take advantage, and you know, and I mean, like I said, dude, I can always say so much. Like I don't want to, but you know.
Okay, so you mentioned Japan, going to Japan. Tell us about your first trip to Japan or your time there.
Yeah, I've been there once. I was supposed to go again, but again, pandemic. But so Japan was a amazing experience for me, and it was totally different than America for me. And I think everyone would say that, but I think for me specifically, it was what we just touched on. Nobody in Japan knew or cared that I ran any kind of promotion here, and they just saw me as a wrestler. And like I said, when you take away all the negative rumors and the weird shit people try to stir up, you know, and you don't have that, and you just walk in on your ability and your looks. I got to see what that was like, and I went far fast. And like, man, dude, I went from like being there on like 2 shows just to get there, like, you know, gambling on myself, like, you know, I'm probably gonna, like, you know, like they like, I got a flight and I got you know, like paid for the shows, but like the having to live there, I had nowhere to go, so I had to get an Airbnb, and like, you know, I wasn't fully taken care of, and that's fine, like, because, you know, they're just like pulling into American, dude, and I was like, you know, just give me a shot, like whatever. And but like I said, I turned 2 bookings into like 15, 16, 17, 18 bookings, and I got offered 2 different contracts while I was there, and I was going all the way to New Japan, you know, talking to them, and was in talks. And so the thing I would say, like I said, I went far fast, you know, dude. I got personally invited to the Dynamite Kid Memorial Show. You know,
Cool.
I sat with Tiger Mask, and, you know, got a lot of, you know, and he, like, Tiger Mask, it was crazy, man, because he actually sat with me and watched some of my stuff and like pointed out what he liked. And then, like, we're talking this is the real Tiger Mask, you know, not one of the later ones. And so we were you know, I was really lucky, and it was really cool. And like I said, everybody like looked at me and treated me like how I would expect to be treated, like like I said, just where I feel like in America sometimes, dude, and it's a weird thing to say, but it's the truth, man. I talk about it, and there's many famous wrestlers that I speak about it with, and they laugh, you know, like they're like, dude, man, the shit people say about you is so outlandish. And like, if they really knew you, and it's like, they're like, you know, because you could be like, because some of the things I say, and I'm funny, and like, it kind of goes over their heads, and like, it gets swirled in with rumors, and so they're like, man, the expectation of you is just totally different than what you are.
So
And
you said you
so
were offered a contract. You didn't accept?
no, I didn't. And it's not that I didn't wanna. It's just that, again, I was keeping my options open, and you know, I'm not gonna say who offered it to me, but it was a good one, and there was nothing wrong with it. And then I think they were like, "Whoa, like, you don't want to take this?" And I was like, "No, it's not that I don't want to take it. Just wait." And I was like, because the way Japan's a little, you know, I mean, I mean, it's like this. You know, some of the companies there, it's hard to visualize because you're international. So it's not like signing with WWE, say, where you're like, okay, I signed with WWE, I wrestle for WWE. So you're signing some of these contracts, you're thinking, all right, well, I got to go back to America. When am I going back to America? How long am I staying here? What's the deal? So it's not that I don't want to sign it. It's just that they were like, I got out of the ring and there's a contract. Like, somebody is running up to me and
Yeah,
they're like presenting this to me, and it's an honor, and I'm trying to say, like, hey, I'm super honored and I want to do it, but like, hey, like, I got another meeting coming up tomorrow, and like, I don't want to, you know, you just don't want to sign. I mean, if it's not the biggest deal in the world, I mean, look, you want to put 6 zeros down on a paper, I don't care if you run, you know, clown wrestling, I'll be like, yeah, cool, man. I'll wrestle birthday parties if you put
right?
a 6-figure number there. You know what I mean? I refer to that as doctor money. You know, you want to put doctor money down there, I'll do it. I'll do what you want to do. But like I said, you know, before I even got into that, I was like, hey, look, this is awesome. Totally honored. Let me just sort my things out. And then kind of just the way things worked out. But yeah, I still believe I have some offers there in Japan. There's no hard feelings or anything. And like, I believe that if I made some calls, I would sign that specific contract. But like I said, it's about keeping your options open and knowing that, like, you know, dude, any athlete, any wrestler, you only got a limited shelf life. I don't care how good you take care of yourself. You know, eventually you start looking old and you start getting old, and or you just blow your knee out, or you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
you got to pick and choose, man, and you got to say, okay, like, is this, if this was it today, is this the one where I'm going out? So no offense to anybody, no whatever. Just you just got to find the right options for yourself, and like, so I was in the process of that. But like I said, Japan couldn't have won any better, man. And like, I could also believe how somebody would be like, well, that's bullshit. You got off the contract and didn't sign it. Well, I did. And, you know, it is what it is. And like I said, I may sign with that company next time I return there. I don't know. It would be great, I'm sure. And I was more and more into it as time went by. I was like, you know, maybe this is kind of outside the box, but, you know, this could be awesome. And so we'll see where that ends up. But pandemic, so.
Yeah, it changes a lot of stuff. So you've wrestled for FTW. You own it. So obviously you've wrestled with them.
In famous promoter fashion, I'm currently the champion. Just like every promoter should be of their own fed. But yeah, go ahead.
So you wrestled for MLW and Evolve as well as a lot of other.
I've been in every fed, man, and you can't name one. I've been in all of them. I've showed.
What's the best promotion you've wrestled with?
I mean, that's a hard question. I mean, obviously, I mean, I rolled with the WWN and Evolve for a long time. You know, so there's a lot there. I don't know if I'd refer to it as the best. You know, man, I mean, what shows did I enjoy the most? Probably the most enjoyable company to wrestle for, Big Time Wrestling. Because I always had the most wild matches, dude. One week I'm wrestling, you know, doing a match named Toto Loco. The next match I'm wrestling the Hardy Boys. Then the next match I'm wrestling with the Patriot against Dan Wilkes, you know, I'm wrestling. You know, no, not Dale Wilkes, the other Patriot, Tom Brady.
Oh, okay.
And I like to call him the real Patriot. No, but he's definitely not the real Patriot. Dale Wilkes, but it's still funny though. I love it.
That's a good one-liner.
Yeah, I think I got heat on Facebook once. I was breaking Dale Wilkes' balls. I don't even know him, but he was like coming up in like posts, and I was like, "You're not even the real Patriot. Everybody knows it's Tom Brady." He was ready to strangle me. But I'm just being a dick.
He loves that because he's from Boston, right? So
yeah, I just thought it was funny. I don't even know the guy, and I think his wife was on there, and I was like, "You're all delusional." You know, just being funny. I don't know. Because who's going to fight over that? Like, if you're so mad about him being the fake Patriot, dude, just go back out there and be the Patriot. Or, you know, don't. I don't know. So, I mean, I would laugh if somebody started calling themselves Bryan Idol and wrestled. I'd be like, I don't care. I'd be like, it's funny. But yeah, Big Time Wrestling, you know, like I said, you go to those matches, then all of a sudden I'm wrestling with the Steiner brothers and the Nasty Boys. And so everyone was just always so over the top one way or the other, and the crowds are always good, and like the buildings are always good. You know, I got to wrestle some really cool buildings like the Hudson Civic Center, and you know, that's where a lot of WWE like Saturday morning superstars and things got filmed out of there.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of buildings like Altoona, Pennsylvania, like the Jaffa Shrine. I think that was another place. I think they did like Monday Night Raws there.
Yep.
So yeah, like places like that. You know, like it was just fun. So.
Have you wrestled your girlfriend before on a show?
Which one?
The current one.
On a show? No, she's more or less teamed with me, but not.
What's her name?
It's Tracy Wayne Gacy.
Okay. Does she play like the spooky character sort of thing?
It's definitely a goth psycho killer character.
Yeah.
She's like more active lately. She's gonna be really awesome. She's
cool.
I think you're gonna see her in some big stuff coming up soon. So
wait, do you own Shine as well?
No, that's WWE.
Maybe you guys are connected or something?
Not really. I mean, they're just WWN, and you know, I've worked for WWN for a long time.
Okay. You
know, so I did, you know, FIP and Evolve and Dragon Gate USA and ACW, and you know, we had Fight the World as a brand on their network, and so I mean, there's a long time relationship there.
Have you wrestled in Canada at all in the West Coast?
Not on the West Coast, but Nova Scotia. I'd like to say on a household name, my friend. No, yeah, I did several tours of Nova Scotia area, and I love it there, man. It's like that place is gorgeous, and
That's where our friend Adrian Adonis died there as well.
Yep, and me and Piper used to talk about it a lot, and I told him how much I liked it up there, and he always said like the Maritimes were cool, and he made mention of Adrian Adonis over there. So I definitely love that area. Definitely one of my favorite places to be. And I wrestled for all different companies there. And like
Maritimes are beautiful.
Yeah,
if you get a chance to come out to Vancouver, we're also very beautiful.
I've heard, and it seems like it's hard to get bookings over there for me, like because it's I'm far away and I'm in America, and so the Halifax and Nova Scotia stuff just kind of worked out for me because one time it all started with I was probably just starting to really get out there, and a buddy of mine, Joseph Von Schmidt, posted on Facebook one day, who has a passport and is ready to drive to Halifax tomorrow and wants to be on a huge show. And like, you know how that goes, dude. People were like, oh man, I'd love to, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here thinking like, oh man, I actually can do this. I was like, hey, you really need a guy? I'll do it. I was like, I don't even care what it is. Let's see. And then lo and behold, the show was sold out at Exhibition Park, again, another place where they run Monday Night Raws. And Bret Hart was like the headline appearance on and plus like 20 other legends. And the show was like, it was like, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 people. And I made a ton of money just selling merchandise. And then here I am, Mr. Nobody. And I was just couldn't believe how much money. I'll never forget one of my friends was like, hey, you guys want to come to lunch with Bret Hart? And we were like, nah, we're going to stay here and sell gimmicks. And they were like, all right. And the guy came back and was like, oh man, you missed the best lunch ever with Bret Hart. And we're like, that's cool, man. We just made like $1,500. So I was like, we're good, dude. And they were like, yeah, I hope you have fun with Bret Hart though. Yeah, exactly. And
what countries have you not gone to that you would like to wrestle in?
Mexico, man, like really down in Mexico, and I really don't understand how I've never been in AAA. I got to be honest, and I mean, maybe it's on the fact that I've never actually reached out to them, but I've come across so many lucha promoters, and they all tell me like, we're gonna talk to AAA for you, blah blah blah. And I mean,
could you wrestle under a mask?
Oh no, hell no! You don't put this guy under a mask, especially like in a Mexican lucha show, bro. Like I am the ultimate heel. I mean, look at Sam Adonis, like what he got to do down there. And I've been on lucha shows with Sam Adonis, and like when the two of us are in the ring together, dude, it's like, and like I said, I've wrestled Blue Demon Jr. I mean, Super Porky. There's so many dudes like that are Mexican legends. I forget, how many. I mean, a lot, dude. I've been in the ring with a lot of these dudes, and then even some of the main like crash guys like what's his name, Akuma. I don't know, I get confused with the names, but I've been in there with a lot of these dudes and always done well in a lucha setting. So I'm surprised that I haven't been deeper into Mexico, and I think that would be a place I would love to go. AAA would be awesome. I love the vibe there, and but yeah, I mean, I've been a lot of places though, so if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
How many years do you think you can keep wrestling?
In all honesty, at the level I'm at now, like at a high level, as in take any bump, do crazy shit, and like be able to move with real speed and power and ability. If I had to put a number on, like say 7-8 years.
Yeah,
I think I got about 7 or 8 more of like top. Then I could hang. Saying like, then we're talking. Fake my way through like that sounds horrible, but like I'm just saying like fake my way through WWE main event legend style. I probably got another 7 after that, but who knows? But I'm saying top notch, like getting it in there, taking any bump from any spot and doing crazy stuff. 7, 8 years, man.
You mentioned your friend who's on the WWE show. What's his name?
AJ Francis.
Yeah, on the Treasure Hunt show, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's the host. Yep, he's the host of WWE Hidden Treasures.
Oh, awesome!
I'm going to tell you guys right now. We'll just go right into this. So you're talking about AJ Francis, aka Top Dollar.
Top Dollar.
And I don't know if you guys seen, but they debuted his group Hit Row,
Yep.
And it's already getting huge props. And I'm telling you guys right now, dude, AJ Francis. It sounds, because you said he's my friend. Okay, first of all, I didn't know him outside of wrestling. Okay, I just want to back this up. First time I ever met AJ, I walk into Sausage Castle Wrestling. Kevin Gill got me booked there. I walk in there, and this dude is, I don't know, 6'6" and 400 pounds, but he's not fat. He's just big, and he's like a Braun Strowman type, and he's like looking at me, and he's like, "Yeah, so I want to do. We're gonna wrestle." He's like, "It's me and you." And so, just from you guys, I just want to explain to you my perspective. I'm like, "Hey, how long you been wrestling?" He's like, "About a year." I'm like, "A year?" And he's like, "Yeah, I used to be in the NFL." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "All right." So in my mind, I'm like, "This guy is a nutcase. He's been in the NFL a year. He's been in the NFL. He's been wrestling a year. He's huge. He's green. He's probably going to kill me in the ring on accident." Like, that's my first thought, is like, this guy's going to actually like put his hand through the side of my head and I'm going to be dead. So I instantly am like, okay, this is what you do. This is the inside of being a pro wrestler for some people. So I see this, and I'm not a little guy, and he's huge, dude. And I'm like, all right, so let me try to rein this guy in so he doesn't do crazy shit and kill me. And literally, he's like, okay, so I want to do that spot where I go to give you a razor's edge off the top rope, and then you like Hurricane Rana me onto a chair like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. And I'm like, I've been wrestling a year. He's like, yeah. I'm like, but the thing about AJ is he has so much charisma and conviction when he speaks to you, that like, this is my gut reaction in real time. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. You know what I mean? And in my brain, my head's like, what are you, fucking crazy, dude? And like, something.
But you just want to see if he can pull it off.
I know. I thought he'd kill me, and then like, he's talking about power bombing me into the corner post. Not even on the inside, on the outside, and then like, he's gonna bounce you. I'll catch you. He's like, jump off the thing, jump off the ring or over the ropes, however you want to do it. Like, you're gonna give me a Hurricane Rana, I'll catch you. I'll let you go down. I'll pick you up. I'll smash you into the post. Then I'll power bomb you through this table over here. And I'm like, I'm just picturing my body like just smashing away like it's made out of ice. Like I'm gonna shatter like I'm glass. And like I said, man, something about AJ is he's got so much charisma. And he's so direct and enchanting when he speaks to you that you're like, yeah, let's go for it, man. I believe in you. And
you follow him into a house on fire.
That's the thing about AJ, dude. And he's what I'm saying is, what the show still doesn't even showcase, because he's in a very modified setting, okay?
Yeah.
And you get a glimpse of it when they give him a microphone. I'm telling you right now, and this is what I'm building towards. I'm saying he won me over on day one. I had like 5-6 great matches with him. Done crazy things, taken what do they call that? The oh my god, I'm a wrestler. I can't even tell you anymore. The what's the flipping pile driver deal?
The Canadian
Destroyer. There you go. He's a slight against Canada. The Canadian Destroyer through through a table. Like, this dude, I mean, he's wild, man. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, dude. I predict that you're looking at a Rock level type talent, and I look, he's not going to be the Rock, okay, but he's going to be one of those rare guys that surpasses the Machine. And you're talking about a household name because you're already seeing it. People love him on TV. And I got news for you. There's probably other TV shows coming for AJ Francis that are non-WWE related, and maybe even some movie stuff. And then you're talking about a guy who has viable rap albums. He just came out with an album last year, and it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's professional and the production is real. It's not a piece of garbage. It's a real album. It's not like some of these other wrestlers who pretend to be musicians. And I'm not talking about Chris Jericho, because I think he's good. I'm talking about there's other ones that have albums and have things that are not successful and you never hear about, and they're out there and they don't sound top quality and whatever. So I'm not criticizing. One of my favorites of all time, by the way. I enjoy that. I believe Lanny Poffo told me he wrote the lyrics to "Perfect Friend," which makes total sense to me. So there's that. But like I said, I mean, I'm not knocking anybody else's thing. I'm just saying he has a viable professional rap album ready to go. he's as real as it gets, man. He's authentic, and that hit row, the whole thing, it's authentic. It's from his brain. It's how he rolls, and I'm telling you, man, that he's going to get to a level where he's a WrestleMania main eventer. I would, like I said, I made it a personal goal. I would love to be, I say 2 years from now, I'm wrestling that dude at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would like it to happen. I think there's a chance only because AJ is going to be that big of a star, and he might help me get there. But I think at some point I'll be having matches with AJ somewhere just on my own accord. And we've already had some great matches, and there's pieces of him on the internet, and he's awesome, dude. And he is next level and totally unexpected. People still don't know what they're looking at. Trust me, I just know. AJ's
I mean, when I watched that episode of NXT, I'm not familiar a lot with his work. I did watch a couple of his matches, and when he got on that mic, I was like, this kid is going to be dynamite within a year or two. Like, he is just unbelievable on that microphone.
Yes. And just look, I was saying this before he ever got signed or whatever. In all my years of wrestling, you're talking like 22 years, dude. AJ is physically the strongest person I've ever wrestled, and evidenced from. And I know Leon Ruff is a small guy, but like, you watch when he debuts and he jumps off onto AJ.
Yeah,
AJ's body doesn't even flinch. This dude jumped from high up and over, and AJ doesn't even. I mean, you catch a guy. I can catch a lot of guys, and there's bigger guys than me. Watch Braun Strowman catch a guy. Watch this guy catch a guy. Bro, their legs reposition, their body.
Are they about the same height?
Yeah, they're about the same size. They're like the same height, same weight. I'm just saying, their back's bow, their legs move, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
AJ was like this. It's just like like landing on a brick wall, and he's like that. This dude picked me up off the ground one time, and like, he didn't just pick me up. He like scooped me with two hands and just he bent at his waist like this, didn't bend his knees, and just picked me up over to the back of his head. I'm 220 pounds, dude. It was like I was made out of like air. I felt like I was weightless. Like, when he grabbed me, I was like, yo, it's ridiculous. Like, I tried to help him. There was nothing to grab onto. He was like, I was like, okay, never mind, we're good. And I mean, he's that strong. And I'm saying that comes from being a freak NFL athlete. He is, dude. And there's a guy who probably could still play in the NFL. I'm not saying he'd be a Pro Bowler, but he should be on a team. And could be. And I mean, he was it's only last year was his first year not in a training camp. So, I mean, he's the definition of when they say, like, hey, we're looking to sign a football player, like a blue chip athlete. That's AJ. I mean, I can't say enough positive things about him because I know him. And not because we're friends, because I'm saying everything I'm saying about him, forget who I'm friends with, forget whatever. I'm talking about on a physical level of who we're dealing with. I'm saying what I've felt with my own body in the ring with him, and what I've seen out of him. He is a freak, dude. And that's I can go on forever, but yeah, you're looking at a future megastar. No way. I mean, look, maybe he does something wrong, maybe he pisses somebody off, maybe he gets fired. If he doesn't and he stays in there, you're talking about he's going to be a legend. But yeah, that's just me.
Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
we'll cue this tape up one day.
So talk about some of your who were some of the wrestlers that inspired your in-ring work, per se.
Honestly, man, it's all old schoolers. And up to and including Sabu. Like, he would be a big part. I take a lot. It's hard to see it, but trust me, man. I mean, he taught me a lot, and there's a lot of his mentality in my wrestling, even though maybe it doesn't show through all the way. But there are times I do hit a triple jump moonsault off a chair, and I mean, like I said, those clips they're archived in the WWN universe and shit like that, or they just never made it on tape or blah blah blah. But so other than that, a lot of old schoolers, man. Mr. Perfect. I feel like I directly do a lot of things like Mr. Perfect does. A little bit of Ric Flair in there. Guys like that, man. Even some Macho Man stuff. All old schoolers, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't watch a lot of modern wrestling, and not because I'm a hater, just because I do it. So it's like, I'm not trying to steal anybody's moves. So why do I need to? I don't really need to watch that much. Like, I get it. Like, I know how to wrestle, dude. Like, so I mean, there's things, sometimes there's must see stuff, and that's cool. But I'm just not the type to watch it every day. And I know WWE tells people, it's like, they say like, oh, you gotta be up on this product, blah blah blah. But then we see guys get hired that I don't watch wrestling and probably smoke crack. But hey, That's how it works.
Is there anything you want to promote? Upcoming shows or something like that?
No, the thing I would like to promote the most is just maybe go to my website, keep an eye on that, bryanidol.com. There's some merchandise there. I also have pro wrestling tees and stuff, but I like the stuff on my website better. I just think it's better quality. This is why I got a lot of friends. See, like I'm like, go to pro wrestling tees, but my shit's better quality. That's why everybody hates me, dude. But it's true, man. I don't know. Make a better shirt. I sell them there. It's cool. For international, I think you don't have a choice. Like I don't think my web thing goes international. So for merch sales, so I think you got to go pro wrestling.
Yeah. So if I bought your shirt, I'm stuck buying from PWT.
I think Canada, maybe you're okay, but I think outside of U.S., Canada, and Mexico, I think once you start going England and China and Japan and places where I've been that people will buy my stuff, I think typically those people have hit me up and said, "Hey, your website doesn't give that option." I'm like, "Oh, you got to go to my pro wrestling tee store." Which, hey, I mean, it's all good, but I just think
they're very international now too, so it's really good.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah. So, and I just think mine are better quality is what I was saying. I've said 3 times now, which makes me a lot of friends. But
hey, Brian, are yours better quality?
I think the ones on my website are better quality than pro wrestling tees. Sorry, pro wrestling tees. Don't kill me, Colt Cabana. I'm sorry.
That's fun.
But yeah, does he even own it anymore? I don't know how that works, but.
No, he doesn't.
I once shared a hotel room with him once, and it was pretty funny because we both had an iPhone and we both had that same alarm sound. And so he was in the other bed, and I don't know how this happened. So he had to get up earlier than me. And so I'm pretty sure he had his phone on the nightstand. I think I had mine in the bed, and I think his went off first. And one way or the other, I think he got up and was getting ready, and it went off again. And I think I rolled over and just grabbed it and shut it off and grabbed it like it was mine. So he's now trying to leave the room, and I hear him shuffling all over the room, and I wake up, I'm like, "What's up, dude?" He's like, God. He's like, nothing. And he's shuffling all around, right? And he's not saying nothing. And then all of a sudden, the alarm's going off. So I'm checking my phone. It's not mine. I'm looking around, but it's coming from, it's in the bed with me. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and I was like, "Oh, hey, buddy, I just wanted to snuggle with your phone a little longer." He was just "I've been looking for that for 10 minutes, dude." So it was just so funny, and I was like, "Tell your phone I miss it." That's what I always say. It's corny at this point, but I used to tell him all the time. I'm like, "Yo, tell your phone." I said, "What's up?" Because I slept with Cole Cabana's phone, but yeah.
Intimate moments.
So yeah, check my website. Well, let's wrap this up here, guys, with the promotion. I don't want to do your job.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, if you check out my website, you can see a lot of stuff like that. The acting stuff and the movie stuff, that stuff promotes itself. That's real stuff I do. So it's I don't need to, grassroots it. I have agencies and blah, blah, blah. They do that. So, just always keep an eye on my wrestling stuff, man. I mean, if I need the most help with anything, it's wrestling because I'm not signed to a major company. So it's all the fans that rep my shit and tweet to people, "Hey, this Bryan Idol's really good," which I know you guys have, and I appreciate, man, because I don't get a lot of it. And it's like I said, it's because I say funny shit, and people are like, "He's an asshole." But I'm a pretty good wrestler. I look cool, so I like it when people promote me because you never know, it could help me end up somewhere. So that's all I would ask for people watching this.
Are you on Instagram as well?
Yep. My Instagram's
Instagram and Twitter.
My Instagram's very different from my Facebook. Actually, it's the Bryan Idol. And, I like to say the, but then people think there's 2 E's, the Bryan Idol. And, it's a different, I show a lot of Sausage Castle stuff there and a lot more modeling.
What's pictures. Sausage Castle? That name is driving me nuts.
Okay. Sausage Castle is owned by my best friend, Mike Busey, who is the nephew of actor Gary Busey. And it's basically the wildest party house in America. And so it's the new, I want to say it's nothing like it, but if I was summing it up fast, girls wise, it's the new Playboy Mansion, combined with Jackass, combined with a homemade theme park. So we're just always doing
there as well.
Yeah, we have our own wrestling company there. And I mean, it was way before me. Like I said, AJ was a champ there. I actually beat AJ for the belt on his way to WWE. And, I mean, they've had everybody there. Janela's there all the time hanging out.
Yeah.
He's wrestled on those shows. So there's a lot of guys that have been a part of it. And it's pretty big for not being as known as it is. The Fed itself, we've had some really big matches there, some really cool stuff. I had a casket match where I lit AJ on fire. It was pretty wild. but the house itself is like 10,000 square foot mansion with like 84 acres of property. We have like a shooting range, dirt bike track, a hookah tent, an arena with like concert stuff, and a ring from WrestleMania 3, which will be featured on A&E coming up. And
awesome.
yeah, so I'll be popping up on that too. So
oh, you're going to be on that show?
yeah, I think they're going to edit me out, but I should be on it. They definitely filmed a lot of me on there.
You're like, I knew Bryan was there somewhere.
Well, I mean, if I'm not on there, you'll probably hear or see me in the background because I was there the entire day, and they were definitely like, we filmed scenes with me. So I mean, they asked me for 2 releases, so I'm gonna say yes, but you never know how Hollywood works. But so that should be coming up, which I don't know. I'm probably not supposed to tell people that, but it's happening. What are they gonna do? Sue me? Don't sue me, please. Don't sue me.
No, don't sue him. No.
Somebody will see this. Some tweeters will be like, "Yeah, see this asshole? What he said? Blah blah blah. Sue him. I hope he does get sued." He was talking about. Look at. He was talking about a swimming pool back there. I saw. Yeah, a swimming pool. Got stuff back there. Sue him. Sue him.
He can afford to get sued.
No, I can't. No, I cannot.
All right, one last question for you. What is your favorite match of yours?
Man, people always ask this, and it's so hard. Like, there's so many for so many reasons. I'm gonna go with. I've been given this answer, and I've been saying it, and like obviously Yams Day sold out 2019 Barclays Center, ASAP Rocky. I'm the only non-WWE wrestler ever to even wrestle there, let alone win a championship. And it'll probably never happen again that somebody else outside of WWE does it. And in front of more people in Barclays than they get because we didn't have all the setup that they had. So we had more people on the floor and everything else. Yeah. So 19,000 is like a record there, I think. And so that's probably one of them. But I'd say favorite opponent, I always like to say AR Fox. Look, we all get it. We'll just call the elephant out in the room. We did a porno once. And so, places like WWE don't touch them. But like, man, in this progressive culture we're in, I think they ought to let it go. And I think AR Fox is a superstar and phenomenal wrestler, and by far the best opponent I've ever been in the ring with. And I've wrestled him a few times, and it's always magical. And I've never seen anybody so skilled. And it's ridiculous. And he's in great shape, and he looks cool. He's funny. He's authentic. He's everything you want in pro wrestling. And, I mean, he's been in some major companies already, but I think the only reason why he's not WWE bound is, like I said, there's this porno rumor, and I've never watched it, and I don't care to, and it doesn't matter, and he's that good. Oh, you guys are laughing. Did you guys watch it?
No. But now you piqued my interest. I might actually.
Based on what I heard, maybe you don't want to watch it. But the point is, hey man,
the wrestling porn is never good. I take it from Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. He's a great dude though, AR Fox, and like I said, he's my favorite opponent and should be a megastar. And it's a shame that he's not already. I mean, he is in his own right, just like I am too. Like, nobody has to feel that bad for me. I've done really well in independent wrestling and owning companies, and I'm saying like that's how I got everything I got. So I'm saying I have no complaints. I'm doing just fine. And but some people deserve to be big stars in wrestling on the mainstream, and AR Fox is definitely one of them. So
cool. Well, hey, Bryan, thank you very much for coming on the pod. We completely appreciate it. You can watch this Thursday on our YouTube channel. It'll be uploaded for our Monday release. You can find us on Apple. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. That's where you can find us. Like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. And next week, we are going a deep dive into the life and times of Chris Benoit. So tune in next week from the JFB
and Canada Dry.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm Bryan Idol. That's me.
Hey, how's it doing?
Peace, love, and happiness.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bryan.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. We appreciate it.
No problem, man.